Out of the goodness of her heart, this woman rescued a small and pink creature, not knowing what she was holding. When she finally did discover what it was, she was shocked. On the 25th of February 2019, Jessica Adams was walking her son from preschool when she discovered something that she never could have imagined. Mother's Day had started off like any other normal day. She had woken up, had her breakfast, and gotten her son ready for his day at preschool. Once she had dropped him off at school, Jessica went about her day, doing the errands that she needed to get done and tidying the house. When it was time to collect her son from his school, the mother decided to walk again. It was a nice day, and she enjoyed the time that she and her son spent together on their walks back from his school. It was during this time that he would usually tell his mother about his day and how much fun he had. The mother and son duo were making their way back home, like normal, when Jessica suddenly noticed something very strange in the middle of the sidewalk. There, curled up into a tiny ball, was a small pink blob. Jessica was unsure as to what it was at first, but as she got closer, she realized that it was a baby animal of some sort. Jessica was shocked at what she had found. The baby animal, whatever it was in no way ready to be apart from its mother. It could have only been days old, if that. Jessica looked around for any sign that another animal, preferably the baby's mother, was about, but unfortunately, nothing presented itself. Being an animal lover, Jessica knew she couldn't just leave the baby there, as it was sure to die. So, seeing no other option, she picked the baby up and took it home with her. I found him in February 2019 on the sidewalk. He was alone and practically frozen, hairless, eyes still closed, and fortunately, without his mother around, Jessica said in an interview with Bored Panda. Whatever the animal was, Jessica thought that it must have fallen out of a nearby tree. There had been quite a few strong winds about at the time, and being so tiny, the creature must not have been able to hold on properly and had been knocked out. Once Jessica found out what kind of animal she had saved, though, and the fate that had befallen it, she soon changed her mind and came to believe that a bird of prey of some kind possibly tried to take the baby as some food. Whatever the reason as to why the baby was in the middle of the sidewalk, Jessica had found it, and she was determined to try her best to save it and raise it. All throughout that first night, Jessica kept the baby creature warm and fed him using a pipette. She was amazed when the animal made it through the night, as she was just sure without its mother this tiny creature was sure to die. But once she had seen just how much of a fighter this tiny little animal was, Jessica knew that she had to do everything that she could to save him. That second day, the mother called up her local veterinary office to see if they could help or give her any advice on what to do. They asked Jessica to weigh the animal and discovered that it was only 1.3 ounces. That's roughly the weight of 6 pieces of paper. Jessica asked the vet if they would take the creature in, but with it being so young and requiring so much attention, they told her that they couldn't. The confused mother also tried to contact a wild animal rescue center, but they simply told her that they were overbooked. "I tried really hard to give him the best," said Jessica in an interview. "I tried to contact Wild Animal Rescue, but they were overbooked, and the vet would have put him to sleep if I left him. So I had no choice but to try to save him myself." Even though Jessica had made the decision to help the creature, she was luckily not alone in her choice. Her children and her husband were more than willing to help the animal lover in her quest to save this creature. "My kids were excited to see such a tiny creature, and my husband just thought I was nuts, but he knows I'm an animal lover and that I wouldn't give up on him," said Jessica. Because of how young the baby animal was, he needed constant attention and feeding. "I had a timer set on my watch for feedings every 2 hours, even at night," said the newly adopted mom. She would even take the baby animal into her office at work in order to care for him. As the creature started to grow and develop fur, it soon became clear what kind of animal it was. It turned out that Jessica had saved a baby gray squirrel. As the squirrel developed, Jessica also noticed that part of his tail was missing. She suspected that it might have been caused by the predator that tried to get the poor baby when Jessica had first found him. Knowing the species of animal that she had saved delighted Jessica, the animal lover decided to name the new addition to her family Stephen Jeffrey Adams, although he usually went by Steve. As the squirrel grew, so did his personality. Steve was clever, far more intelligent than I ever expected, said Jessica in an interview with Bored Panda. "He was very much like a dog, came when I called, he let me know when he wanted to play and also when he wanted to cuddle or nap. He loves pens for some reason and would always take them into his bedroom. He was very much a one-person animal, me. He tolerated the kids, but not my husband. Before long, Steve was big enough and strong enough to start going into the backyard where he could learn to climb trees and other squirrely things. Jessica knew that she couldn't keep him as a house pet, as he was a naturally wild animal, so she needed to make sure that Steve knew everything he needed to survive in the wild. In order to accommodate Steve's larger size and desire to be outside, Jessica built him a new 2-story house in her garden. When he got bigger, he needed more space than his original cage when he was locked away. I wanted him to also get used to all the constant sounds of being outside. We took baby steps to implement everything from being outside, from exploring to climbing, said the adoptee mother. Eventually, the day came where Steve was ready to go off and start his own life in the wild. I knew he was ready when he wanted to be out and about more, but I was heartbroken and scared when he didn't come home for the first couple of nights. I feared the worst and worried I had done him a disservice by raising him and not giving him all the squirrel knowledge. But his instincts kicked in and he survived, said Jessica. Since then, the squirrel has continually checked in with Jessica, returning to her to prove that he's still alive and well. He even brought his own little family with him once, as if to show his human mother just how well he's doing. Upon seeing Steve's girlfriend, Jessica gave her the name Jolene, and she's always kept an eye out for the two. I think he's happy. He has a family. He will still look at me with curiosity like he remembers but won't climb on me. A healthy fear of humans is good and keeps him safe. Not everyone is as kind. He visits often. He's also pretty easy for me to spot since he's missing about half his tail, Jessica said. Since raising Steve, Jessica started feeding all the neighborhood squirrels, as she has developed a special kind of love for the animal. She also claimed that if she ever came across another squirrel that needed saving, much like Steve did, she would do it in a heartbeat, with no second thoughts. In relation to her unusual experience of raising a baby squirrel, Jessica also said that every creature deserves a chance to live, great or small. If I would have left him to die, I would have missed out on a great adventure and experience. As for Steve, well, he is enjoying his new life as an outdoor squirrel, although Jessica always makes sure to leave him a few extra nuts in the garden. What an incredibly kind and caring person. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you want to see even more awesome videos, just head on over to my channel.